Okay, so now we're going to answer some of the questions that I got from Instagram. First question is, was it hard?
Yeah, it was hard because I felt like quitting sometimes.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be hard. Would I say it was as hard as my experience or our experience on the AT the year we did it?
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I think it was physically much easier than the AT. But still physically hard enough to where I'm having to work for this mountain, I'm climbing up, or
Yeah.
put in like 30-day miles, completely wiped us out. 30-mile days, my bad.
30-day miles. Yeah.
But it was hard. The weather was a lot nicer, so I think too my mental game was a little weak because coming from COVID, nursing and all that, I was already just so tired. So a lot of inconveniences for me were a lot more difficult. But yeah, just physically it was hard, but it could have always been worse.
Yeah. So I would say overall, through hikes are hard no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was like flat the whole time, you still have to find the motivation to keep going. Definitely the wildfires and the smoke in North California specifically, we were just like this close to quitting just because to me, at being our second through hike, I didn't have that mentality of like at all costs that some of the people around us had. On the AT, we definitely had that, but to me, like I'm out there to enjoy the nature, and my opinion and what I said a lot of times was, if you just want to walk for the sake of walking, just walk on a treadmill. Like I'm out there to enjoy the nature. I'm out there to enjoy the experience with my wife and the people that we meet. And the smoke, I didn't have anything to prove at that point, and it felt a little pointless, I guess. I mean, obviously I'm glad that we stuck with it. So in that respect, yeah, I do think it was hard, but from the physicality standpoint, I don't think so. And we actually were more consistent on the PCT than we were on the AT of just like staying on trail. We took a lot of zeros on the Appalachian Trail. We had just started dating, and the weather was like 3 to 4 days per week
terrible.
of rain. Towns were a lot more accessible, so we went into town a lot more. But overall, I mean, I would say it was difficult, but it wasn't as difficult as it could have been. How many times did you poop?
How many times did you poop?
Yeah, how many times you poop?
Per day, or just?
That's all it says.
You poop on trail.
Yeah.
And some people poop multiple times. Some people poop every couple of days. And that's just...
I pooped at least once a day on trail, and probably like 2 to 3 times a day whenever we had access to a toilet. My body was just like, it's time. So top 3 favorite sections.
Okay. I loved the desert. Was fun. It's always fun in the beginning of trail. And the desert was cool. Obviously the Sierras, everyone's going to say the Sierras, guys, just everyone. And then Washington. Do those kind of sections? They're big sections.
They're big sections. It's hard to choose. I would have to agree. The first 100 miles of the desert were pretty cool just because everyone's in high spirits and you're meeting a lot of new people. The mileage isn't like outlandish, at least for us. So, there's a lot of like stop and chill time, as opposed to walking the entire 12 to 15 hours a day. Definitely the Sierras, Kearsarge Pass was pretty cool, Muir Pass. Yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity to do the JMT, I would highly suggest it. I don't expect everyone to be able to take off the time to do an entire through hike, but the JMT is definitely worth it. And then Washington, Goat Rocks Wilderness. I was really looking forward to that. We had a beautiful day, and I was really concerned that we would have smoke or bad weather, and I just could not have asked for a more perfect day. What was your favorite trail town?
You want to go first? Do you have something that comes to mind?
Yeah, definitely Julian, Trout Lake. But we had the most fun with friends in Wrightwood, California. So those would be mine.
Julian was the first that came to mind, but it's also like the first
town.
And they really do a good job. You get free pie and or a slice of pie, and it was probably one of the best slices of pie I've ever had.
Yeah, discounted sandwiches
from the deli, which were delicious. It's just a cool town. It's got a lot of fun things to it. Idlewild was nice too.
Yeah,
I liked Idlewild a lot,
like
and that was
every
like the
town
second
was cool.
town.
Yeah.
Every town was cool.
Yeah. The hospitality of each town was
Yeah.
pretty unmatched.
Yeah.
Just the vibes, you know, the vibe check. All towns. The only
Everyone
town
was
that
super nice.
I didn't like was where was it? Where we had like the super expensive hotel that didn't even have AC.
Truckee.
Truckee, California can freaking suck my butt. It sucked. We paid way too much for a boutique hotel, which didn't have AC
No
during a
AC.
heat wave. We weren't used to that. Every place in the South, for the most part, has AC.
Yeah.
And then to top that off, the room that we had was on top of a bar, and so we couldn't even open the window because there was a live band playing until like 11 p.m. So she
Yeah.
actually fell asleep on the bathroom floor,
It,
crying.
it was the coolest location.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, whatever. I put a towel down, I laid down to try and cool off, and eventually fell asleep.
That's
It
okay.
happened.
Yeah.
Then I moved to the bed.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
How many bears did you fight? None.
Luckily, none.
We had that one encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when you get rained out on trail, having to set up the tent and the rain, etc.? You freaking deal with it, dude.
Yeah, you just,
You gotta deal with it.
You just do it.
Yeah, you gotta
You just
stay
do it.
existing.
and yeah, it sucks. You've got to hike in the rain sometimes. And it could be all day rain. It
Yeah.
could be raining for days. Day, night, whatever. And most of that you'll see on the AT.
Yeah.
But
it's still on
it's,
PCT too.
yeah, still on the PCT, but it wasn't like straight day. Well, there was that one time. Never
Yeah,
mind.
so the section
Just deal with
around
it.
going into Stehekin,
Stehekin.
there's like a 100-mile section that had no road access, and that was the rainiest we had.
On the
Luckily,
PCT.
yeah, with our tent setup, it's dual wall trekking pole tent, so we were able to set up the rain fly on many occasions before having to set the whole thing up. So there were a lot of times on trail that we would just kind of take a siesta and see if the rain passed, and then break down the rain fly and keep it
Or
moving.
if it's lunchtime and it's raining and you just want to have freaking dry hands to eat with.
Yeah.
Setting up that rain fly and being under that is just such a huge plus for those rainy days and when you want a lunch break or something like that. It's definitely would recommend.
Where was your best poop?
You want to go first? Do you have a best poop?
Yeah, anywhere that the Privy had cell phone service. That's what I would say.
I've had a few good view poops.
Yeah. I guess it could also be.
The best poop is the poop that is quick, easy,
There you go.
and clean.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That's the best.
The ghost wipe.
The ghost wipe.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
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 A lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Still having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still out and about. But yeah, we had a lot of fun.
How many days to get through Washington? I'll answer that because I responded to it, so I can kind of cheat and read. So we entered Washington the 27th of August and ended trail. So we hit the Canadian border the 23rd of September. We only took 3 days.
Yeah.
In that time.
2 were because of rain.
Yeah, we
and
went with
rain,
my
slushy
aunts.
conditions.
Yeah.
Well, one was at your aunt's.
No, two at
at your
Snoqualmie. Yeah, remember, because we were only going to take 1-0.
Oh,
And it was
we
just
weren't
too good to
done
pass
sending
up.
packages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one in Stehekin.
For rain.
But technically, Chelan?
Yeah, it was half Stehekin's, half Chelan.
Chelan.
We
Yeah.
took the ferry. It was pretty nice.
Favorite memory from the adventure?
Do you have something off of that?
Just being able to hang out with her like all day, every day. Not a lot of couples get to experience that, and they might not even want to. So as we're like re-entering normal society, it's gonna be a lot different if we're not like around each other. Right now, it's been tough, and this time just because we are a one-car family, and we're currently in an Airbnb that's just like a studio apartment, and so.
There's no space.
Yeah, I've just been a psychopath and like super on edge, just very irritable. And then she's
We both. Just a little post-trail depression.
Yeah, so
and a little anxiety with all the house
Right.
buying stuff
Not
and where are we going to
very-
live and what's the future looking like.
Yeah.
And I need to start applying for jobs and you know,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Not very complimentary stages, but we're getting through it. How many times did you poop in the rain though?
I asked him that question.
Yeah.
That was my specific question because this fool never pooped in the rain.
I held it.
And almost every time it rained, I had to poop, and it's just, it's probably one of the worst things.
Mosquitoes, I would say.
Mosquitoes are really bad.
For
Having to
pooping.
poop in mosquito,
Yeah.
like a cloud of mosquitoes, that's insanity.
Yeah.
And pooping in the rain is just depressing. Just depressing.
It's just
Because you're
straight
just
depression.
squatting.
Yeah.
We're talking about poop a lot. Oh well.
That's okay.
You're just squatting
Yeah.
with your pants down, and it's just raining on you. Your TP's getting wet no matter how much you try to like safeguard it. It's awful. It's an awful experience.
Yeah.
So.
Favorite meal on trail and in town? Here you go.
Favorite meal in town? Basically, not on town, but on trail. The only meal I really enjoyed eating was the beans and chili. Basically making chili Frito pie.
Yeah, it's Skirka beans and
Skirka
rice.
beans
if
and
you
rice.
want the
Recipe.
Yeah, so you got dehydrated refried beans. They can be difficult to find on trail, so if you're thinking about it, I would encourage you to order ahead. Minute rice. I use sharp cheddar cheese, olive oil. You get some chili powder, not like red, not like spice chili, like
it's the mix, the kits.
Yeah, like if you're gonna make chili at home. What else? Olive oil.
And then
Fritos, chili cheese Fritos.
That's the best you can eat.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite as well.
And then what about in town?
Oof,
I already got mine. I got 2 tops, but one was the best.
Yeah.
And it was in Big Bear, and it was the Himalayan restaurant.
For sure.
If I could just go back there to eat, I would. I would take a trip just to go back there and eat.
Good.
It was so good.
What's the second one?
The second one was the Mexican restaurant in Chelan.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was delicious.
And Amigos and where were we? Bishop.
It was in Bishop.
California.
Amigos, their chips and salsa.
Super good. Yeah.
So good.
Mine, I really liked the pizza in Julian. Idlewild. Pizza in Idlewild, and then probably the Himalayan spot in Big Bear. It's legendary. Like, so legendary that whenever I posted a story of me there, previous PCT hikers that we knew from the AT were like, the Himalayan spot in Big Bear, and I was like, you got it.
I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah, everybody eats there.
If I could eat there again.
Was there a point where you became consistently burnt out, sick of it? Yes.
Yeah.
It happens on every through hike. It's not unique to us. I mean, some of you watching this that have experienced the through hike, you might feel differently, but I can say, and I anticipate any time out, it's gonna
and it'll happen
eventually.
in waves too. Sometimes, like going through North Cal, pretty much I was like, this sucks. Yeah, this sucks. I want to be done with this. And then you get into Oregon, you're like, yeah.
It's flat.
And then Washington is cool, but then I think most everyone, even if you're enjoying it, is done by the end of trail. You're just ready to be done. Most people, I can't speak for everyone, but even if you're having a blast, it's still, there is a time when it's like, okay, I'm ready to be done. I'm having fun, but I'm ready to be done.
Yeah, I love being on trail, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things outside of trail that I like to do.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't list a lot of hobbies, but like, hanging out with my friends, skateboarding, creative things. I want to learn how to sew so I can start making my own gear. There's just like all these ideas that you get on trail that you don't really have access to while out there. And so for me, like, it's nice to be back, but obviously I still miss it. There's just a certain freedom that you get out there that you don't find in normal life. What songs got stuck in your head the most? The Kid Leori song, Justin Bieber.
Oh.
Want you to stay. It's like a TikTok song, but I straight listened to like an hour loop of it while I was showering. But I don't know.
have a lot of songs. I think this time around I didn't listen to as much music. On the AT it was like constantly listening to stuff because I mean you're walking through a green tunnel. On the PCT there's more things going on, and really actually I think I listened to audiobooks more often on this time around.
I did not. I couldn't keep. I would like make it an hour in, and then I would just phase out.
Yeah, I listened or read a lot of like sci-fi, so
yeah,
it was more entertaining than just something.
Whatever. What was your resupply strategy? So we pre-made 7 boxes. I think we ended up sending 8 or 9 total.
The tricky part was we pre-made 7, but then we didn't use 2 or 3 of those boxes
because we didn't want the
food in them.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing in Washington is we made like 3 resupplies.
Yeah.
2 were sent in boxes and 3 we just bought stuff there.
Yeah, I wish that we had more boxes. Places like Warner Springs, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Warner Springs. And then
other random ones.
Whenever you're getting into it and you're like, I'm not gonna stop in town, I just wanna pick up stuff and go, that's when I wish we had boxes. So like later on in trail.
Yeah.
In the beginning in trail,
like
we're
moving.
still like zeroing in every town, we're having fun.
Yeah.
So boxes you don't really need unless the town just doesn't have a grocery store or a sufficient grocery store.
Yeah.
But like later on, like in Oregon, if we had a box of I think we did almost have a box in every location that you stopped at, because we were just going, we weren't staying, we were just hiking through.
Pick it up, keep it moving.
And so Washington, that would have been nice because you could just pick it up and keep moving, and they don't have, they just don't have sufficient shopping areas in Washington.
Yeah.
So, because even I would send one to Trout Lake because they had a grocery store, but it was really expensive and it was small, so you're limited on options. So, and then where's that other place that it was called the armpit? That guy.
Oh, Syed Valley.
Syed Valley.
Yeah.
This guy called it the armpit of the PCT,
Yeah.
but
it was a really nice town though. The people there are great.
Yeah, people there is great, but our driver called it
the
that,
trail,
like
it's
that.
not very well maintained there, and I don't fault Syed Valley
Poison oak
themselves.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's a notoriously bad spot. The PCTA needs to organize something.
Yeah, the trail itself
was
just awful.
shitty, and then we had all that smoke there as well.
Yeah, it was smoky, but the resupply there was actually really good because we were worried places were getting outbought by all the thru-hikers.
There was a huge bubble because of the fires, so we were concerned about supplies, but the general store in Syed Valley knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I even talked to the owner and was like, dude, I know this is overwhelming and I'm sorry, and like, good job, thank you so much. And he was like, dude, I've been doing this for 35 years. It happens every year. So yeah, again, that's not a remark at all on the town of Syed. Everybody was super nice.
Yeah.
Just that section of trail sucked.
Was terrible. Yeah.
So would you do it again? I took this as meaning like, would you?
If I'd never done it.
If I'd never done it, do it again. I would do it 100%. And then, there's still sections that I would redo and want to take friends that haven't experienced like a through hike, so I'm trying to block them in.
Yeah, I would redo sections. I wouldn't I know. I would redo sections 100. Would I redo the whole through hike? Nah, I've already done it once, don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But if I had never done it, of course I would do it. I believe the same thing about the AT.
Yeah.
It was miserable, but it was actually amazing at the same time.
Met my wife.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just through hike, man. Just through hike.
Just freaking walk. Get out there and walk. Yeah, I would agree. And we still want to fill in some of the sections that we missed, obviously. But yeah, I would do it again, if I had not done it before. How many how many 24-hour challenges did you do?
0.
0. I do
I
not
feel
believe.
bad about that?
No.
Nah.
I don't believe in 24-hour challenges. If you want to do it as a personal pursuit, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
To me, it feels pointless because for myself and for us, if we did a full bore 24-hour challenge, it's going to take us a day or two to recover from that.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of the goal, you're not really helping yourself at all. Like, yeah, it's a cool thing.
And the risk for injuries is so high.
so high.
pushing your body that hard.
Yeah.
I'm 31.
Yeah, I'm 30. We're
you
not.
know,
Yeah.
I'm not 19. I'm not 21. I'm not 23. And
Not
so,
even 27, dude.
Dude, yeah. Like.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, at this point in the game, like we're just trying to maintain like our health of our body to make sure we can complete the trail, or like, and just in the grand scheme of things, doing 227s back to back would be more than what we would do in a 24-hour
like
challenge.
Yeah, we had 2 friends, shout out Rambo and Sam, who are Surefoot, but they did 60 miles in their 24-hour challenge. That's awesome. That's incredible. But at the same time, for us, like, there's just no point. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, we're hiking partners. I'm 6'3", she's 5'7", so it's not, you know, if I'm like doing the challenge, our paces are going to be a little bit different.
I would be left behind.
No, I'd be left behind. PCT or AT?
Man.
It depends on the experience that you want. I would say, you know, we've talked about it a lot. The AT really challenged us and really pushed us more than we ever anticipated it doing. And only after doing the PCT have I come to appreciate how challenging it actually was.
Yeah.
I don't know that we would have lasted the PCT if it was as hard as the AT, just because if you think about it, like, if I've already done the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, why would I want to do it a second time? But if you're looking for like high views, high reward, big payoff, a lot chiller experience, a lot more fun, definitely the PCT. Because the AT with the green tunnel, as I'm sure you've heard it referred to as, you'll go straight up a mountain and then top out and it's just tree coverage. You don't get any views and then you go straight back down. That can be pretty demoralizing.
Yeah, and yet the AT is still, I don't know if maybe I just haven't processed or fully downloaded the PCT yet. In my, you know, just like we've been doing so many things. Yeah. The AT is just, it's our first. It's our first through hike, and I think it holds a very special place in my heart and memories because it was the first. Everything was so new. The whole experience was new. Yeah. And the PCT, we didn't even, I mean, I read books for the AT. I, you know, watched YouTube. I like researched the heck out of what to do on a through hike on the AT and the PCT. We didn't do hardly any of that. We're like, okay, what gear would we need? Or what, you know, so like the PCT was beautiful. So if I was doing one through hike, probably the PCT because that was just absolutely beautiful. The weather was nice. You're still meeting friends and going into cool towns. It's just the AT was my first through hike. So it's just, it has it's more prominent memories on the AT than it was on the PCT. Yeah. And it was way more challenging,
And I mean, if you've not done a through hike before and you're considering it, you know, you might get the same thing out of the PCT that we got out of the AT. If you're thinking about doing the Triple Crown, I would encourage you to do the AT first because that thing's a freaking beast. And like, just the physicality of it is so much more intense. My legs were like freaking buff. After the AT and after the PCT.
After the AT,
we were also like pretty physically destroyed.
My feet and knees were pretty destroyed. And after the PCT, I had like no issues.
And like, and a lot of that is because we have the previous experience. But like she was saying, the AT, I mean, I probably spent a good year getting to know gear and researching. The PCT, we found out in January that they were releasing permits, and it was like, let's get out of here. Like, let's go. And so not a lot of prep. We already had the knowledge base, and that's really what it comes down to. Like in something like a through hike, it's all about this. The physicality is there, and you have to manage your body and set expectations that are realistic. But if you can like navigate and be adaptable and figure it out, you're gonna be fine. Most interesting hitch. This is the one that I said. The guy in Tehachapi.
I think the most interesting was Roy.
Oh yeah, Roy, dude! Shout out Roy.
Roy,
camp host,
saved our butts.
And
Buck Lake.
Buck Lake, yeah. Roy or anyone in the Buck Lake area, if you know Roy, fantastic man.
Fantastic.
We hit Bucks Lake like as the Dixie Fire was kicking off. We hitched in with this man that had picked up 2 other hikers that we knew. I was like, okay, you know, cool. What do we do from here? Took us to the restaurant, made sure we had Wi-Fi. Bought us drinks, sodas, and then took us to his host camp, which was like on the lake. He and his wife cooked us dinner, cooked us breakfast. His wife drove us into Quincy the next day.
Yeah, so they just set us up to get us around the fire.
Yeah.
And because we were really nervous because we were getting notifications of evacuations and we don't know what county or whatever we're in. And so they're like, okay, this area's evacuated. And I was like, is Bucks Lake going to be evacuated before we even get there? Are we going to even have a chance to get a ride out?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they just took care of us and just really, I mean, his wife cooked us breakfast before she took us to Quincy, and she dropped us off at a specific bus stop that had laundry and, the bus. And they paid for our showers. They gave us quarters for our showers.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just so nice.
They're great.
And they really just came in the time that we really needed them. And were just wonderful people, honestly.
And there were a lot of people that, I mean, anyone that picked us up was helpful. And that's what we just said about Roy, is not at all to discount anybody else. That was like the most dire time of need.
Yeah.
Another couple that gave us a great experience was Savior and his wife in Thru-Hiker that were celebrating their anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I can't remember your wife's name, Savior, if you guys are watching this. But we had a hard push into Thru-Hiker, and we were coming through all that rain. We'd done like a 27-mile day before and got into camp late. Everything was saturated.
Bags got wet.
Yeah, they took us in, hosted us in the cabin that they had rented in Thru-Hiker, made sure we were taken care of. Like,
it's just not really a place to stay in Thru-Hiker.
And all on their wedding anniversary. Invited us to go to dinner at the ranch.
Yeah.
It was just,
anyone.
So
nice.
Yeah.
It just, you come across, and I'm sure y'all wanted to know interesting as in like quirky or crazy.
Yeah,
but
I don't really want to call those people
that stand out are the people that are just, they help you, and especially when you're in a bind, and they just really pull through.
Yeah, I want to take this opportunity to tell any future thru-hikers, you need to keep a list of trail angels. So we still need to follow up.
Out.
But we do thank you cards at the end of the thru hike. So as we went through the PCT, anyone that helped us, except for a couple.
I think we got most everybody.
I took their name, made a note of where they helped us, and their email. That way, I didn't take their address at that time just because people move. So get their name, where they picked you up, or whatever they did for you, and their email. That way you can reach out and get a good mailing address post-trail to send your thank you cards. It goes a long way, and it's incredible for the thru-hiking community and makes towns welcome us and want us to be there. We had people.
It's just something nice to do.
Yeah, pay for our breakfast, give us like $50, and it just, so a woman bought us groceries, so I have notes of all of them.
Just incredible acts of kindness.
Yeah, so make sure you keep track of that. We're recording this on my phone, otherwise I would give those specific shout outs, but yeah, that's the point of advice. How many snakes did you see?
A lot.
A lot. I can't count. I stepped on one.
Yeah, he did not see it, and he stepped on it, and the snake was like, what? And he was
froze.
like, what?
It wasn't poisonous, but yeah.
I saw plenty of snakes, but I think the rattlesnake count, which is the most important count, was only like 3.
Yeah, pretty minor.
On the AT, it was 9. So
yeah, a lot of rattlesnakes on the AT. We saw in Pennsylvania specifically, we saw 1 every other day and up to 3 every other day. Also had one come into camp. We were tenting separately at that time. I had a 6 Moon Design Lunar Solo, and I was laying on my sleeping pad, and the cicadas seemed really loud, exceptionally loud in that spot. And then I rolled over and I realized it was not cicadas, it was a coiled up rattlesnake a foot from my head.
On the other side of the tent.
Well, it was not in the tent. It was, don't let her downplay the danger. It was very intense. So yeah, PCT,
only
not
3.
Not a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we just were lucky that time.
Yeah, so that's it. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the comments below. We're keeping it going. We're getting our lives together. All of our stuff's been in storage or in some sort of box packaging.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to do gear follow-up stuff. I know there's a lot of questions about that.
Yeah,
no
we
videos.
Haven't been able to edit anything.
Yeah, I am going to be doing an outdoor entrepreneur series, which I've been conducting interviews for, where we're going to be talking to the founders of Cooler Cloth, garage grown gear, ULA equipment, cloud gear bags, the Utah State University product development and design program, Thru, which is a video game coming up, Jolly gear, Triple Crown coffee. There's 8. I think that's it. If I miss anybody, you'll see the videos. So those will be premiering either later this month or the beginning of December. I've already recorded those and I just need to do some post-production stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for all of your support. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Honey Bear is hopefully going to be finishing her videos eventually. I keep telling her she needs to do that.
I have to figure out my computer problems and then I'll edit them on my computer because I got tired of editing them on my phone and on trail and I just didn't want to bother with it. So
that's it. Thank you.